All right, a new video begins as we head into the top 15. So far, everything is a little helter-skelter just because of the split between what you guys had and what I had. There is still one other song in this section for this video that's going to do that, but there's a lot more alignment between us the rest of the way, which is pretty typical. I think even in our list where we have more panelists, get to 15, and that's where the points really start to add up into this like congregate that makes sense. Number 15 is a song I did not vote for, but it was, I think, my third or fourth last cut. So it was one I was also very keen to get in there, and I just couldn't find room for it. It's from Kingdom Hearts 2.
This song is just so good.
So this is a boss fight, right? This is a boss fight song?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So good.
And it is... I mean, it ends up... It's one of the ones that does blend with some... Like, it sounds very Yoko Shimomura, but it also, like, is very weird. It's a weird-sounding song, especially the way it starts.
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, get these drums and these, like, weird sort of noises. But then the way it builds is really cool. And it's pretty fast-paced throughout, which is perfect for when you hear it.
In my head, and I could be wrong about this song even playing in this fight, which would be embarrassing, but in my head, this is in the Shaun Yu fight.
Yep,
I think it's the first
where my
time
mind
you
goes first too.
I think it's the first time you hear it. And
Yes,
if it is,
probably.
it's also where I had to get my ass saved by Mickey Mouse. So it's the first time
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah.
So all of this kind of connects to a good memory in my head that's in addition to the song being very good in the first place. Because now, again, I'm big on connecting songs to moments, and this one has a strong one for me because I'm like, oh shit, like Shaun Yu, he's cool. Oh, he's kicking my ass. Oh, Mickey's here. What the fuck? Like, it all connects nicely.
Yeah.
I also like. I know there are fans out there who do not like the QuickTime events all the time, but I like in the fights the cool kind of set pieces that you can do with the QuickTime events. Like with Shaun Yu, you have like your swords, like clashing against each other, and you have to like mash so that you can like overpower him, you know, and like other little things. It just adds to the like cinematic quality that I think this song also kind of has.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sure I've said it on this platform before. We've done it for 13 years. How can I not repeat myself? But my only issue is when you do it more than once.
Oh, right.
And I don't blame them if you're going to spend that much
That's
money
true.
on making a cool moment. I guess it doesn't hurt to go back to the well, but it's like, all right, I'm slashing through the Hydra's heads. I'm flying around on Pegasus. This is the 7th time I'm doing this. Cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But the first time it happens, it's awesome. And I think one of the things that Yoko does well in particular, and this song's an example, is bring back a melody, whether it's in a chorus or a verse, as it were, and like layer it. So we get the same thing here twice at the start, but then you add some piano to it that makes it even more interesting.
Yeah,
She's very
yeah.
good at that. Number 14 on our list is one that I was worried about. I knew it was going to be on my list, and it's actually pretty high for me, but I wasn't sure if anybody else was going to vote for it because it also gets sucked into a lot of other songs and a lot of other medleys that we mentioned earlier in this list. But number 14 is one of our few examples of songs that just sound like nonsensical Latin, even though they're not. And it's our favorite boss fight from 1, Guardando no Buio.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, oh?
It's just, oh, this song, right.
Well, I fucking love this song. Sorry. But, like, I think this song and the Destati in my brain when we were voting merged. So I thought I was voting for,
You idiot.
but I know I voted for this one because this one, like, so good.
There are hints of Destati in this.
Yeah, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
What do you call it where, like, so the song starts with the do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and then it never stops, but, like, all these other pieces come up. So it is layered.
Amazing.
I don't know if
Yes.
there's a specific word for it, but it's... I love that part of it.
Mhm.
This builds in a way that I think is super cool. It's a shame this boss fight sucks.
Yeah.
God, this boss fight's so bad. Fucking Ansem boat.
Yeah.
The Ansem boat is
Terrible.
one of the weirdest decisions they've ever made. Again, it's an allegory, it's a metaphor, it's something. It's not especially pleasing, and luckily there are other fights that precede this that are very good, a song to one of which is still to come on our list. But this fight in particular, I guess it's a testament to the song that it sticks out so much for me, despite the fact that as I think back, I talked about moments in the connection. I hate the connection I have with this song.
Yeah.
Because I can just picture like flying in and out of voids with Sora and Donald and Goofy as you take out some part of it and then you move to some other part of it. You finally get up to the head, and he's not even fighting you himself. He's got his arms crossed, and the boat's got arms swinging swords at you, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But then this part.
But this part.
Do do do. That's layered from other songs
Yep.
to
And then
which
this.
is what we've talked about.
Like when the choir hits.
Yep.
Now, this is another song I would argue is better than the original, at least this part. The choir and the strings that lead sections of the remix soundtracks sometimes are just not as punchy as they should be. Another song, 2 songs from now, has that same problem. We'll get there.
Well, so much of it culminates like in this song, which as the final boss fight, it makes a lot of sense. So like the song reflecting where you are in the journey of the game is just that's really well done.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you get this confused with Destati, it makes sense. There's 2 different references to it in this, and
Yeah.
you can argue a third one because of the chord progression. But
Okay. So
different, and it's the payoff of the choir part that is what gets me. Because I made this as a song in like Stepmania, the computer DDR one, because I was like, I love this song.
Yeah.
You did super fuck up still, but
I know, but I at least it's just proof that my brains are challenged.
it's like if you run over a family and there's ice on the road. It's like, yeah, there's ice on the road, but like you still hit that family.
Right.
You know?
You have to
But
own
the
that.
ice.
Maybe it was out of your hands, but
The ice.
hey, number 13. Wouldn't it be funny? And again, I don't
Do it.
I don't manipulate the votes
Do it.
anymore. So, wouldn't it be funny if the song that finished number 13 had 13 in the title?
There's 2
Cute.
or there's at least 2 chances. So yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if like number 13 happened to be an Organization 13 song? Not the Organization 13 song, but rather this.
Yeah, this one's cool.
I
This one's cool.
almost did. I put this one on my list. I can't
I
remember
think-
if I had both.
I
You-
think you did.
You
I-
did not.
I think I
Oh. you
Oh, I didn't?
idiot.
Okay,
Nope.
I must have
Shaun and Maisie
swapped
and
it
I
then.
did.
Now I think
Oh.
I had
Well-
Maisie I think had this higher than the other one.
Yeah.
And I think I had the other one higher. But they were both on my list because they're both awesome.
Oh, I know what I did. I just went with the other one. And
I
then
think that's
brought
what you
in a
did,
different
Kayla.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
This,
The song is very good, though. I struggled between both of these.
I think that part there has that like frenetic, really fast, what sounds like a violin.
Yeah.
But then we build back up. We have to get piano because it's Yoko. We can't
Yeah.
not have piano. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like we build that because this part almost sounds like sad.
right.
And when you start thinking of Organization 13, especially a couple members in particular, it's all you associate with it is sadness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sad but determined. Like I have to do this. I'm not thrilled about my lot in life, but here I am to fuck you up anyways. Like this is where we are.
Yeah.
And I think that part with the piano is borrowed from other songs, but is faster here, which I think is cool too, because this is like it matches the moment.
This stuck out to me because I didn't really find much of Chain of Memory soundtrack to be very good. But this shows up in it, and it's better in later versions like here, which is why I have this version and not the original. But like, that was the one song in that game where I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't really know much about Organization 13 at this point. We're barely getting introduced to them in that game. But all right, maybe I'll take them a little more seriously because this theme got my interest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably a large part of why I like Team Galactic more than most people do. It has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with their music.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how you can make an impression.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
The only thing about it being 13 is if you did all that build up, wouldn't it be funny? And then it wasn't.
right.
But I'm glad it was.
But wouldn't it be funny if the song right after the one that was number 13 also had 13 in it? Wouldn't that be funny?
Ah.
If you did, it was like the start of every Organization 13. What if the top 13 is all Organization 13 songs?
It could happen.
What if
I
that
don't
was the
know if it
case?
could.
That's a real possibility.
What if I'm just yanking your chain? This one has nothing to do with that, and I just played off Sean's idea. You don't know. Here's our number 12.
That's true.
Ah, there you go.
This is the one I liked a little bit more.
Yeah. These are both so good, though.
I think 10 years ago I would have been with you. I would have had it higher than Struggle. I have Struggle higher now because I really only like one part of this song. I think it's all very good. That's why it's on my list, to be clear, because I have a lot of songs I like that didn't make the list. But it's that one part that's really only like 4 measures that I love, and that's why I had to kind of have it middle of the road for me. Now, the moment this happens is cool. It's a shame we didn't get to play this moment for a long time because it took remixed forever to get to us in the States.
Oh, yeah.
But this is, of course,
Yep.
Sora and Roxas fighting, and instead of just waving that away with a story moment, now you actually get to do it. It's a fun fight. He gets to wield 2 Keyblades like he
It's-
does.
It's a hard fight, too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
It
struggle
is
with
not
musical
easy.
terms, right? And for this one, though, it like it sounds like heavier to me a little bit than Struggle, and I like that. I think it fits the story really well for what they're trying to convey. But just like musically, I appreciate that.
We have familiar piano back there. Doom, 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 doom. Pulling from other stuff. This part.
Yeah.
Everything culminated in this part is what I'm here for. Sounds worse in this version. My biggest low down on the remix soundtrack. It has no punch at all. It's disappointing. But
Yeah.
the music's great. Can't blame the soundtrack for this. It has a different take. If I don't like it, I'll go back to the original. That's not a problem.
Right.
Even this part, kind of
Yeah.
like quiet building back up. And then when they loop, you get those high strings to, again, like drive home the tension. Like, all right, these two aren't getting along, even though they're sort of the same. We don't know. It's complicated. At this moment, we have no idea really what's happening with the two of them, but they got to figure this out. They got to fight to the death.
Cool. I love it.
Okay, but
Wouldn't it be funny?
Wouldn't it be funny? Now, 11 is so far apart from 13 that you wouldn't think that there would be another Organization 13 song. And you would be right.
Okay.
There wouldn't have been if I hadn't been the only fucking person to vote for this. This is my number one, and how y'all don't have this on your list is incomprehensible
Blame
to me.
Kayla.
Now, you know it's an
No.
Organization 13 song, and you know one of the ones it's not because all of you voted for one. So which one is it? Well, since I was the only one who voted for it, I got to pick the version. So I'm not even going to the one that's in 2. I'm going to the one that's in 3. There's 2 versions of this song in 3, because 2 different Organization 13 member refights have a version of this that's different. This one
Yes.
clears Zigbar's by far. I think it's Zigbar.
I mean, it's very cool.
I remember this. It is cool. I just think I like the other ones more.
No, I will say, I just wasn't aware of this one, and there's partially because it's like, okay, 13th Reflection, 13th Struggle. I'm sure Dilemma is just like a remix of one of those.
Yeah.
It's not. It's very much its own song.
The naming doesn't do it any favors. So all 4 of us voted for Reflection, number 12. I'm the only one who voted for this. Because that's the case, I can't even get it in the top 10.
It is really cool, though.
Because we haven't even gotten to the good parts yet. That's the funny thing about it. Especially in this remix. This remix is like, we're going to make everything you liked about the original better.
I mean, this is cool too.
We get the sad Organization 13 motifs in here.
And it's almost like halftime at the typical piano pace that she plays in, which makes it really distinct sounding.
And obviously we heard different versions of this song as well. There's a much slower, sadder version of this that plays in a lot of their scenes where they're talking and you can't see half of them because they're in hoods. Because then, I guess I'll skip ahead a bit because we don't have 6 minutes. But this part has this build, which is great. We have sad, we have piano, we have Harkening Back to Dearly Beloved. This version's like, okay, but what if we went harder?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Get a little bit of like metal in it.
On the best
Oh,
part of
yeah.
the melody, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so now we're not fucking around anymore. So even though this is really just for one optional fight from the DLC of 3, and again, 13th Dilemma is back in 2. There's different versions of it scattered throughout the series, but... So I was a little surprised at that one. Because, I mean, I get that people had different preferences, but, like, you could put all 3 on your list. I did.
Yeah, I would have. So I will admit this would have been on my list.
Yeah,
And
I don't
to
expect
blame
y'all to have it
Michaela.
number 1.
Yeah.
I'm probably an outlier on that one compared to other people's lists.
So
but
we can confidently say, like, with an asterisk, that like this should have been in the top 10.
should have been like 9.
Yeah.
No, I
Blame
look at the
Kayla.
top
I
10
know.
that we have that'll be coming up in the next video, and I'm not really upset about anything that's made it in there, so I'm not like, oh my god, I can't, but I'm just, with the heft of my number 1 vote, I was like, that'll probably be like 8th or 9th or, nope,
No.
11th, and that's my lucky number, so I guess I should be happy. But I'm
But
not, I'm bitter.
I just feel sad.
Yeah, I feel nothing. It's not very often a number 1 gets taken off the board this quick, but alas.